Testing, testing, I'm just suggesting. Hi, so welcome to my seafoam green couch for a story time. I've actually never done a story time on my YouTube channel before, so I'm a little nervous. But yeah, I thought I would tell you about my coolest audition experience. So this was a long time ago, very, very long time ago, probably more than a couple of years ago. And it was for this little movie starring Ryan Reynolds called Deadpool. It was the first Deadpool. And since it was like such a huge production, they had a lot of, I guess, security surrounding the details of the plot and the storyline. So that's what makes it a standout audition experience, because it's different from all the other auditions. Because first of all, you had to sign an NDA, or I had to, and then instead of receiving the audition materials, so the little section of the scene that you're going to go audition with, you had to actually go in person to pay a visit to the little scene script. It's called sides, that you are going to memorize or to perform in the audition. So I had to go to the studio building, and then once I got into the waiting room, because there is a waiting room where you can see all the other actors who are probably going out for the same part that you're going out for. So once you get to that waiting room, or once I got to that, I don't know why I always say like you. Once I got to that waiting room, I'm like really bad at telling stories, guys. That's why I never do a story time. I mean, I like writing stories, but obviously like speaking is so different. Anyway, so once I got into that waiting room, there was a casting assistant who was asking if I had any electronics on me, my cell phone or camera, or anything that could take pictures, any device that could take pictures at all, or record anything. So you had to put that into the basket. So she had like a basket full of everybody else's electronics that she was confiscating. And so I had to drop my camera in there and my phone. And then each of the actors were taking their turns looking at this little page that's there on the table. And once I got to that page, I think there was only like 1 or 2 lines that I had to look at. So I noticed that on that page there was those lines, but everything else was black. So like you couldn't see what the other person was saying to you. You couldn't see anything except like your lines. So I saw like my 1 or 2 lines, and then everything else was black, and I was trying to like see through the ink to kind of see anything more, but I couldn't really, because it's all blacked out. And then you have to just sort of commit those words to your memory right then and there, because you're not allowed to leave with it. You're not allowed to go home with it and like practice with it at home. You just literally have to do your preparation there in the moment and like all in your head. Or I guess you could, I don't even know if we had like notebooks that you could do. I don't think anyone was really supposed to copy it down or anything, because that's like still like removing it from the building basically. So I think you just had to commit it to your memory. And yeah, I think that's how it went. And then you could go in the next day, or I went the next day for the actual audition. I don't even remember how the actual audition went. I just know I went in the next day and auditioned. When I go into audition rooms, I have so much anxiety that I tend not to remember the events that occur within the audition room, because it is such a short period of time. Like for maybe 1 or 2 lines, you would probably be in the audition room for 1 minute, 2 minutes maybe. yeah, but that is for sure the coolest audition experience I've ever had, because when I went in and they were taking my electronics away from me, I felt like I was like a top spy given like a super high clearance on some sort of like confidential ranking thingy in the CIA or whatever it is. Yeah, and I've never had any audition like that one since, so they were definitely cautious about those spoilers. So is there anything else I wanted to say? This is actually like my second take of making this video, because in my first one I kept saying you, which I feel like when you're telling the story you should refer to yourself as I instead of you. So I felt like that was super confusing. I don't know why my head did that. But yeah. I feel like I was funnier in my first take. Let me think. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Yeah, I mean, if you were looking forward to the part where I was actually in the audition part of the story, then I'm sorry to disappoint, because I don't remember what I did in the audition. I didn't actually end up getting that part, so I was not in Deadpool. And now it is time to say goodbye. Oh yeah, I hope that it's clear that like in other auditions this does not happen. Like usually you do get to take the audition materials home with you, you get to rehearse at home with them and print them out at home, and when you go to the audition your devices don't get taken from you. But for this one, they were very keen. They were very diligent. Yeah. Bye. Oh, she can't wave goodbye because she's got her hand stuck on this sunflower seed for eternity. I named her Infinity Twixie, so yeah, she's got that sunflower seed for infinity. But yeah, I hope this was interesting and I don't know, cool. Until next week. See ya. Phew!